I'm back on, and I decided that instead of going completely live, I was going to try to start scheduling, but we'll see how it goes. Um, Here are the ornaments I'm making. I just designed these. This one, I feel like I went too far, but you guys can tell me in the comments if you like it or if it's too much for you, but I think it's kind of pretty. So I'm working with that, and then I have this one right here that we're going to make. And before we start, like last time, I'm going to show you a few of the supplies I'm using, and we're going to probably do this one today and maybe this one another day because but I will show you what the supplies I'm using. One of the supplies I'm using is for this one, I carry this in my shop, and this is an oldie but a goodie um, lace. It looks like this. It's gorgeous. And this is the one I used for this ornament. Plus, I added, which you can only use that because that's how I started, but then I started adding more to it. Um, I added this trim right here. This one is new in my shop. It's a Rococo, and this is probably one of the more reasonably priced ones that I have. But what I did with it is I placed it all around. You can see it here and there. And then I also, oh, I think I forgot to bring it out. I'll bring it out for you. I did one more lace. I used one more lace that I have in my shop. I tried really hard this past year to get things that were miniature laces, laces that are a little bit easier to manipulate. And this one right here is the one I used where I added it on there. Okay, what else did I do? Oh yes, here. These are some vintage pit berries I carry in my shop. They're vintage, so I don't have a whole lot of them. Actually, they have almost started selling out. But I do have quite a few packages still. I sell a package and it's all mixed with different colors. And this is the magenta pink ones. And you can see I added a little bit right there. And then over here, I have a pink one. This light pink one, I added a little bit here in the center. And this one I also carry in my Etsy shop. It's also vintage. And these are paper wrapped. And these are longer. This one, the stem is a lot longer. And these are shorter stems. But they're all useful for, I just took off little pieces of the magenta. I added it right there. And the lighter pink there. What else? Oh yeah, I'm not sure if on the next one I'll add so many flowers. Hi everyone. But I have, these are some vintage flowers. They're just some that I hadn't listed in my shop. And they have these pearls on it. But I might choose a different flower, I'm not sure. And it's just like a little rose. But I wanted to show you, I have these flowers are actually in my Etsy shop. And this is all I have, this limited quantity. There's quite a few pink in here. But you can see that there's some really gorgeous ones in here. So go over to my Etsy shop. I have a category called Flowers and Fabric. And I have these listed. I could have used these, but I don't want to pull them out of my shop. I want people to be able to see them and use them. So let me pull this one over. You can see they're just all light pink, and they're actually older stock, but they're gorgeous, and you see how beautiful that would look in on here. So make sure let me see if there's another one I see in here that I also have white in these in my shop. It looks like those are the main ones, but they're really, really beautiful flowers. So that's one thing I use. Now the other thing is we were talking about, um, oh, I guess this trim, I'll pull a little, I'm going to cut a little piece off so we can use it later. And I can put this off to the side and not have this whole thing because I already fill up my craft table. I'm, I still craft the same way. So this fabric, the one I was showing you here, I do still have some, and I think I have about 15 yards or so. And this is an old favorite. Everyone loves this when they order it. It's very versatile. I have another craft project I think that I did several years ago where I made a little purse out of it, and so you can get different ideas. You could use it on any of your craft projects. This beautiful one right here that I designed, I'll probably show you how to do this one next time. I used, and you need to go look because I'm not going to be restocking or buying more selection until my inventory goes down on these because I have to purchase, I really have to invest in these. But this is just a beautiful lace and it is very versatile. You can see it's very wide. What I did is I fussy cut the flowers out and that's what's all around this one. So we'll do this one next time. But in the meantime, if you want to order this, I actually have this priced quite reasonably for the quality and what these are. And you know, you get a whole yard of this for like, I don't know, about $6, something like that. The same with the other one, about the same price. And then I had this, the reason I started adding on this one, which you'll like it. There's like various stages where you'll love it. It doesn't have to be this intricate. Is that I want to use, these are some of my Rococo trims. Now these, I want you guys to know about them. Why? Because they are going to sell out. And I have some on order, but they're actually taking forever to arrive. But I do have a lot of this one, which is the one I just showed you. Here are some, this is the peach, oh, it's upside down. This is the peach one. This one I have a yard left, it looks like. This sells a lot, the pastels with pink, and here's a yellow. I'm actually been selling a lot of yellow. There's a lot of different colors people love. So what I've been on the search for is these are some of the newer ones I just got. These are a little bit bigger. So this one I might add to this one, and I might put a piece of this right here. I will decide when we go on to that ornament. This is new. It's a cute little daisy trim. And here's some red. I tried to get red for Christmas because a lot of people will make red things as gifts. This is the original one I had been carrying, and it comes. One thing to note is when you do reorder these, the runs may be different, slightly different colors than I show in the photos. I try to update my photos, but it goes so fast that I don't have the time. This is the red one that I have right now. I think this is slightly different than that first run of the red, and reds come in handy. Okay, the next one is this actually changed also the colors. This was, I called the lavender lilac or something like that, but it's a beautiful color. And here's this one, and I just have a little bit of the peach left. That peach keeps on selling out, and then this is really similar to this, but it's a different run. So I usually try to just ship all the same run until I run out, and then I just start the next one. I've carried this one for a very long time. It's just gorgeous. I put this on one of the hats I showed you last time. This one just recently, a lot of people have been ordering this. This is all I have left. I can't get this one anymore. It's a beautiful yellow and white. I was surprised it started selling because it's like spring, colors, and it started selling. Here, this one's called the bright pink. And as you can see, this is 2 runs, and you can see that it's slightly different coloring. And that's what I mean. Sometimes the colors are just slightly different, and then they just, this one, the red look, the red, pink, magenta looks a little bit deeper and darker. What else? Let's see. I'm just going to show you all of these because this is something I want you guys to be able to see. Well, at least the stacks I have here. This is the lemon yellow. This is purple, and this is the light yellow. You can see the difference. I call this one lemon, and I just name them. I don't know. And then I got a whole bunch of this one. I just recently got this order in. It's a little bit there, it's folded in a little bit, but I tried to steam it as best I can, and I think it's just gorgeous. Whatever you attach it to, you know, sew it on, it's going to be fine. But it is a gorgeous red. It's just a very dark red. I had this in another red. I think it's down here somewhere. Well, I won't show it to you, but it's very light, that other red. So this one I called a dark red, and the other red I had, I called it a lighter red. And then this style, oh, I just love this style. They're just so cute. And this one has a little bit peach tones. I call it peach coral or something because it's got like those different peachy tones to it. This one I call it, I think, magenta red because it has red tones in it mixed with the pink or pink red. I don't know. It has pink here, and then this one, they variegate, and this one's red, this one's pink. Yeah, that's what these are. And then I have this a little bit more brighter pink. Look how pretty this one is. This is all I have, so I'm limited quantities on all of these. See, this one's more of a magenta pink. If you compare it with this one, you can see that the colors are different. Let me see. One more. I don't like to show you my stuff very often, but I really do want you guys to see this because there's some colors I run out of and I just can't get anymore. And this one is, I call it the cherry, and it's a little bit bigger, and they're in little, you know, to me they look like little cherries, and there's like a 3 of them. And so far I ordered more, it just hasn't come in. And this is the purple. This one is the red. It's kind of a lighter red. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you before I go on and start. I'm trying to give you guys some tutorials. You can get a lot of ideas and use your own stash, or if you already ordered these items from me before, you know, different ideas on how to use them. And looks like this is a yard. Huh? There we go. We should go purple next, huh? Okay, so now, how long did that take? It took quite a while, didn't it? But here we go. Next thing is, we're going to work on this ornament. Okay, let's see if you can see what it looks like. It has a gorgeous flower here, and this flower is seared with flame. And then this has some lace on the inside, and it has a lace top. It has I used this fabric. I'll show you how to use that. And then it has, so here we go. I figured it out. I wanted to figure out how to put this lace, and I think I took hours figuring this out. But the first thing we're going to do, let's put this aside because it's getting all snaggy. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to wrap our bauble. And this time I'm going to use this white glittery one. These white glittery ones are beautiful, and you could possibly just use it like this, and look how pretty that would look if you would want to. Or you can just wrap them with just a square of lace. But I go all out. I do a bit more. And there's several steps with this ornament that you're going to be able to stop and make a choice to, that's enough, or you can go further and add more. Okay, here I go. So what I used for this ornament is I did use where's my other fabric I used? I used a more matte fabric. Let me see if I have a piece here. I use this, and I use lining fabric a lot. This would be like a lining fabric to line your coats or your garments. And, you know, they sell them at Joann's, Hobby Lobby, even Walmart has them, and it's a pink color. And that's the one I used in this, but I decided I wanted something a little bit prettier. So I went on the search to find my buried satin. So I'm going to use satin this time, and this one is matte. This matte, which is beautiful because look at the beautiful flower it made. But the satin will also make a beautiful flower. Okay, so I already pre-cut my pieces, and I don't know why when you start getting online, then you need to sneeze and cough. That's me. Okay, so I showed you. I showed you how to attach this last time. So I'm not going to take a whole lot time, you know, just going slow. But I find that I like when I'm going to double layer it. And the reason I'm double layering it because I want it to be full and I want it to have a beautiful flower on top. That gorgeous flower look. But that's the reason why I'm double layering it. I'm finding that I like putting the first layer on sort of, you know, and pulling out, you know, this fold right here. I'm pulling it out. So I'm not going to like do it slowly. I'm going to kind of go a little bit fast. Since I've already planned this ornament out, it goes a little faster. And this is my satin fabric. This satin fabric, when you get it, you can get it, like I said, at Walmart, at Joann's, and it's just the lowest line of satins. It costs under $5 a yard. If you can't find it, I always have some in my stash. So if you ever see what I have and you want a special order, you can say, can I have a fat quarter of that satin? Or, you know, if you're going to make an ornament, let me know and I'll cut it the right size. And so we are going to wrap this thing. I'm getting a new ornament, a new rubber band because, and I'm finding also that I like when it's in my hand now, because I hadn't done these for a couple of years almost, I think. I don't think I got to do any ornaments last year. And all I'm doing is I'm evening it out a little bit. I'm gathering it a little bit more than I had the last time in my hand, holding it a little bit more, just so that my steps, it's a little closer when I actually wrap it. Okay. And so you're going to see that when I actually just put this on, that this ornament just looks gorgeous wrapped in satin. You don't have to do anything else to it. So there's multiple beautiful layers to this. With this one, if you're going to leave it just plain, you could put the lace on the outside. And this is just this lace is a very inexpensive lace that I have. You can choose the laces that are, you know, they sell them as table runners for parties. That's the quality of this one. It's not high quality, but it's very functional for this purpose especially. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and open this up so I could make sure my rubber band's around the thing. And I'm going to go ahead and trim it because I know that I'm going to need to trim it. And it makes it easier to work with when it's partially trimmed. I have in the past like used, you can manipulate it so that the lace goes down, but I'm not going to do it this time. Let's see. All right. Now my goal for this, for my tutorials I'm doing now is because my goals are to show you how to use some of the laces that I have in my Etsy shop to make Christmas ornaments. At least these baubles for right now, and I might add more later. All of my ability to get on and to do things is going to be based on whether it's going to be based on my time. And I know that I'm going to be going out of town in December. So I'm constantly, if you're looking for something in my shop, like right now I'm going to be adding some beads. I'll probably show you those beads in a little bit because I think instead of that flower, I might add some beads to this. I don't know. So what I'm doing is, my goal is to get rid of some of these wrinkles so that they're more evenly dispersed out and not as folded. the same thing I did when I did it with my hand, but this made it, when I did it with my hand first, it made it a lot less here. And I like to use rubber band because the rubber bands, if you can see, I put it on there and it stretches, and so I can maneuver this around. I am going to replace the rubber band with some lace in a moment. But I think, no, actually this time I'm going to put some string on around it first because we still have one more layer to add on top that I'm going to show you. Okay, where's my string? You're lost. Where'd you go? Okay. Oh well, I guess we're going to use lace then. It's all right. All right, the other lace I'm going to use is I have this lace in my shop. This is a very light lace. I love it. I put this lace under my dresses when I make my little miniature dresses. This is like fills out my thing, and I think it's like $2. I sell it at $2 at a time. I'm going to cut about 12 inches just to use it because I didn't see my white thing. I just have a lot of things going on right now. And I'm just going to, this time I'm going to cut it right down the center. A lot of times I cut off this part, but I'm going to use half of this lace. That's what I like about this lace. You can use it to make a bow and leave it full like this, or you can cut it in half and use it as a thinner lace. That's one of the reasons why I got it, because I use it for, I can use this for my larger angels and leave it whole, or my smaller angels and cut it in half. So I'm not going to go and do too much here. I'm just going to wrap it. And this is going to replace that rubber band. I'm going to remove that rubber band. So you can see right here that this is a gorgeous, and if you placed the lace around it, this is a finished ornament, or this. And you can add a flower or bling or whatever you want here. But I'm going to make it look more like this one. And like I said, this satin fabric, very inexpensive at Walmart. Well, actually, it may have gone up now with all COVID stuff. I think all the fabrics have gone up a bit that they carry. But I'm going to see. Alrighty. And even after I tie it back on, I still go back and I check and I tighten it up. I hold on with my finger. I pull up. Now, how careful you are and how much time it takes for you to do yours is up to you, because you might just look at that and it's just gorgeous, just wrapped loosely. It just looks gorgeous. So all of this degrees are up to you. And there's different types of crafters. Some of us are very detailed and some of us are like it quick. I'm done. So, all right. I think that's good enough, especially for a tutorial. I don't want to take too long. And now my next step is to get my lace. When you get this lace, I showed you last time the baubles I'm using the ones that I bought last year at Walmart. And I'm going to take this lace, and one side, oops, it's double-sided like this. I'm going to take one side and I'm going to cut it off here. And I'm just going to cut it along here. You'll see how I figured it out. I was trying to do it the other way, like I was trying to wrap it this way, but I'm going to show you the way I'm wrapping it now. Which made much more sense. Sometimes it takes a lot of experimenting to figure something out, because I wanted to put it on a bauble, and this is sometimes really hard to do. Now, I would like to say that if you're working with mesh laces, like this one is I call it a mesh lace. These are types of laces that you can add like to your curtains to give that really pretty floral embroidery to your curtains or to the bottom of a dress, things like that. When you use it, I'm going to get my thread. Um, for this one, I usually don't use like just regular thread, but I found that I'm actually going to sew it and it's going to look like this at the bottom. And I didn't want it bulky, so I didn't use my thicker white one, and I wanted it to match so you wouldn't see it. So this is actually just a roll of pink lace, and I'm using this big old needle. The reason I have the big needles is, well, I can't see, the little ones are hard for me to thread, but also I lose I had like 5 needles when I start a project, and then later on I can't find them anymore, and they if anything, more likely it'll end up in my husband's toes. Luckily I have my own craft room, and I tell him, well, don't go in there, don't go in there, it's dangerous. And I'm messy. So here, all right, so I'm just going to do some stitches, and on this ornament I want here the edge, I cut it where I have 1 2 3 4 scallops and a half, about a half of another, so half on each side. This one's actually a little short, and I am going to go ahead and on this mesh I'm going to cut, and right here where this meets I'm going to cut that off right there. Okay, over here the same thing on this side. This is going to be sewn to become the bottom, and I'll show you exactly why I'm doing this later. So now the little half on each side, I just cut it off, but I left the mesh, leave the mesh. Okay, now make sure you understand every time, double check to have the right and right section. There we go. I'm not that good at hand sewing, but I recently began my very first time weaving. So I discovered that weaving is a lot like sewing, because you are adding in but you're making fabric or textiles with weaving. And I don't think I've shared my weaving, but I actually made my first one. I put it in my Etsy shop. It's bright colored. It's not Shabby Chic, which I might then later on go to Shabby Chic ones where it'll look more pink and have that, you know, some pink tones to it. But right now I like bright colors myself. Pink is like not my favorite color that I always do, but I know everybody loves pink. So I always try to provide pink for my customers, as well as right now natural colors are in. So what I'm doing is I'm going through every single hole, except I'm skipping where this dip is. I'm skipping that center one and putting it on this long needle. And I'm just going in and out of the circles at the top part, up at the top. So this is how I got it on. I had tried it a different way and it wasn't working. And then last night I almost tossed it because I was like, it's not working. And then all of a sudden, when you put it aside, a lot of times you get a bright idea. Oh, I could do it this other way. And so, yeah, it's working this way. All right, so I went all the way to the end, and hopefully see what I do. I end up knotting my threads. I'm just not. I need the thick stuff. Well, we'll see what happens here. Well, yeah, I put way too much anyways, so it'll work out, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to sew this, and just like if you were going to do a flower, you're going to tighten it up into a circle, and this is going to end up being the bottom of your piece. So let's see how tight I can get it and get that knot out. So I turned it inside out right now, just so that when I put it together, it's okay. So now we knot it. Okay. So I don't know if this is working properly, but what's going on is is my thing is going to be, I'm going to make sure that at 3, I think I set it for 3:30, where I am going to go ahead and be watching myself with you so that I can be in comments and I can actually answer any questions that you guys might have, or if I went too fast through something, I can comment, on this. And I want to see, this is my first time trying it, so I'm going to see how it works. And because my plan is that in the future, if I figure out how to use that all I did was knot it so that it becomes as tight as I can. As you can see, it's just the bottom. And now I'm just evening it out. Okay. I want to be able to, because I'm one person, I can't be there, like looking, I can't see all the comments. And I feel like I'm looking at comments and my videos are just getting longer and longer and longer. So my goal is to learn how to do the scheduled ones so that I can actually, maybe I can pause it between. One of the things I'm doing is I'm going to make sure I have the front and the back. This is actually the back that I was doing. So let me flip it. And this is the front. And you can tell by the details. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm always creating. It's just that I'm so busy because I'm in my shop. I have my Etsy shop, just, I get orders daily, and then I get custom orders as well as orders for laces and trims. All right. So the reason why I had you cut off this little mesh is because here where we're meeting it up, you can see it's wrapping around. This is going to be the bottom and this is going to be on top. But when you meet it together here, I want to have it overlap on the mesh so that I could decide what pieces to cut off and what pieces to keep. Or just, if you could see, it almost disappears. Look, this is where it meets and this is the extra. So you could just cut it straight, but I want it overlap. So I'm actually looking at how it's going to overlap. And so, and just as a estimate, and I feel like I'm going to want this under and this on top. So I'm going to actually do that while I'm making, I turned it into a tube now, and it's going to wrap. It's wrapping around the flower. This one, when I made it, it was too close, and I pulled on it and I ended up tearing the mesh. So, pulling and stretching the mesh, it has a little bit of give, but you don't want to do it too much because you'll have that same mishap I had. So what I'm doing is I'm overlapping it. So one part of the mesh I'm pushing underneath. I decided which one, and I chose this one because I'm most likely going to cut that off or just glue over it. And this one right here, I have a finished flower, so that's why I'm overlapping that one. And this one, both flowers that are overlapping are exactly beautiful. So I could decide if I'm going to cut it off, keep it, or whatever I decide to do. So here I go again. All right. And these, I'm just going to push them upward because I realize they look really pretty up on the top too, just sticking out. Now see if I can find the other piece. Here it is. So here's the other piece. Now I'm going to wrap it around here. And so I feel like this right here is a finished ornament as soon as we tie this knot and we trim that top. Okay. So I'm doing once, and then I'm going to kind of make sure that I do gentle tugs upward, holding this lace down. Gentle tugs. As you can see, look how pretty that looks. It's just gorgeous. Adding that little bit. So this is the stage when where I said We can stop at multiple points, and this is one point we can stop as soon as we, finish it up, if we want to finish it up. But I actually went a little further, so I'm going to finish this up and then kind of stretch it. So this is how you would use that lace. It just looks gorgeous. I love it. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and tie it here tighter and knot it. Actually, before I knot it, I'm gonna look to make sure, because I thought this one may not have been exactly like centered, so I'm gonna kind of look at it a little more just to make sure. I think it might need to go this way a little bit. All right, let's knot it, because that's good. All right, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Huh, I'm mixing them up. What I'm going to do is, because I have this ribbon on this side, I'm going to move this one around so it's on the opposite side. So when I stick it in here, you'll see what I do with it. I'm trying not to take too long putting this ornament together, and I'm not doing all my little fancy details I always put in things. And I do like the look of that background of the satiny look compared to the more matte look underneath that ornament. I do like that. It makes it look a little more elegant. I like it. Okay, so the one thing is eyeball it, see if it's kind of centered here on the bottom. Even if it's off a little bit, it just looks gorgeous no matter what. And what I'm going to do at this point, once I'm satisfied with that part, I am actually going to put a tiny bit of glue down here to make sure it doesn't fall, like, since it's satiny. I'm actually going to put a little bit on the lace. And this is just to make sure it's safe. This is hot glue only. Just a little bit. Because I realized last time when I was putting mine together, I'm like, is that shifting? And it could shift a little bit, and I'd rather not shift on me. And I'm also going to put it in here, and that's the same reason, so that it doesn't keep on shifting. It can hold together without the glue, so it's not glue on there to make it, stay. It's glue just to help it not to shift. So not too much. That's fine. Okay. So now, right now, it's up to you, but see this is the part that we scalloped. You can decide if you want to leave that on completely or if you want to take it off. On mine, I did leave it on and it disappeared. But this one right here looks like I was able to get it a little higher because I did put a little bit more lace. But these can easily be removed, and then you can glue those in other spots all the way around. Let's see if I have one. Okay, so these are ideas. If you don't have all the stuff I have, but you have this lace, you can take it, like I said, and I'm looking to see if I have a piece around here, but I don't. Nope, I don't. Well, you could fussy cut around it, and then you could glue more of the flowers all the way around. But this by itself is gorgeous. I do take this and this cheap satin, very thin. I say cheap, but it's very thin satin. It sears very well with flame, and it gives a beautiful sheen. So I'm not gonna mess with this, like make it perfect, because I just want to get through the tutorial so you could know the gist of it. Now the next thing I did is this lace I showed you. See it? I went ahead and cut it. Oops. I lost my large needle. I don't want to lose my large needle. Let me put it up. Anyway, so I went ahead and it's like in 3 little flowers. I cut it in the 3 little flowers. right here. Cut it. I think we need at least 4. 2. What I'm doing is I'm trying to make it like that one has, I'm trying to put one of this little flowers on each end. I'm confused, but okay. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not an exact thing. I think I'm going to do this one like this because I used more than just 3. I used 2 also. So just cut it off, and I'm doing it rather quickly. I got it caught in my, I found my gold thread. I could have used when I did the gold. I'm just picking up a couple of little things here. Okay, and now I'm not going to do them all in front of you. I'm going to let you guys make some decisions. These are from now on. I'm just going to show you. I'm trying to make my videos shorter, not so long. And this I can easily go on for hours just showing you one ornament. But I already, if you have questions on some of the ways to construct this, I have old tutorials, shows you in detail how to do that. So to me, I feel like this is finished, or you can go further. And the further I went was I went and I took these little flowers. Again, this is the lace you can find in my Etsy shop. It's listed, and I glued it on right here. I'm going to glue a couple so you can see it. When I do it, what I've been doing is because I sell my ornaments, I make sure that I use fabric tack. Because it would be like, for me, if somebody buys it and they're in, leave it in the sun and then all the lace comes off, I don't think my customer would be happy, if they did that happened to them. So I try to reinforce things with both fabric tack and glue, and I'm putting the fabric tack on. So fabric tack is a cold glue made by Beacon. I have fabric tack, and so what I saw was the shape of this, and I saw that there's like a little shape here, and you can decide where to put it, but I think I'm going to go right there like that. And so if you take these, I'm trying to figure out the front and the back of this, and that's really hard to tell in some of these embroidered little. And so this is actually has a little embroidery on it, but it's all pink. And you can, if you take this one, I could easily see me putting like little pearls right in the center of each flower. But all right, so then you can take the next one, and I don't feel like this has to be exactly the same spot. I'm not that detailed of a person. It can be slightly different. It can be kind of close. But with the cold glue, you see I have it on there, and I say, oh, I kind of want to lift it up just a little more. Just lift it up because it doesn't dry for a little while. And then I'm going to come back and reinforce any little pieces later on. But you can see how pretty that looks. So at this stage, if you just put these little flowers on, it's another place you can stop with your flower and just add the lace here, and that's it. Okay, I'm not going to finish that because it will take long. Now on this one, I decided I want to try and use my Rococo trims, and I said, well, this one I have a lot of, and it's a beautiful pink color with some nice greens in it. It has minties as dark and did a fairy as green. I'm going to try this one, and so that's why I ended up putting it on here. Yeah, because I said I was going to try, and I couldn't find any of those others that I thought looked really good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm taking it, and I see the pattern here. You can see this one has a swirl of green here, a swirl of green here. I'm cutting it so that the little rose right here, these probably actually grooming type scissors. I like this the shaped grooming scissors for doing my little fussy cutting around things. I like the little rounded shape. Okay, so there you go. So I have now, so this is, I can use, these would be great to be used as embellishment if you make one of my little shabby chic dolls. I have a lot of kits in my shop with detailed tutorials. I have like 3 or 4 different kits. So if you want to have a lot of people will get the kits and they'll make one, and then they'll buy the hangers separately in my shop and the bodices separately in my shop, and they'll make their own, which brings the cost of it down. I also, like I said, I have that thin lace. So here, you can add this in another spot like that. So that's what I did. I just glued it in and I kept on going. I'm like, I think I did too much. So I don't know what you guys think, if I did too much or not. You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. But I think it's beautiful. Then over here, what I did is I showed you that I have these all these pink flowers. These are vintage satin fabric flowers. And I have them in white also. I have a lot of white. I have more white than I do pink though. And I had used this flower. Oh, I found that gold lace, gold thread, and now it's everywhere. It fell off my little shelf. Okay, so I'm going to attach this one with hot glue just because, and I'll reinforce them with the other glue. Just show you that you put it on, and usually I decide where I want it, and then later on, I usually use a fabric tech, then later on I'll come and do the edges with hot glue. But that's all you do. Oh, thank you. See, I can't see all of your comments, so because I'm busy crafting, but you can see that at different stages, this beautiful ornament is just gorgeous. And you don't have to sear the edges of the fabric. You can actually try to manipulate it to make it more shabby if you want. Look, if I pull this fabric this way, look how shabby it gets. So you can make it more shabby, or you can sear it like I did. And I have very detailed tutorial when I first started crafting, and I was trying to figure out how to melt things and use a candle. But you can use a lighter. You can use one of the things that most important things to know when you are trying to sear something. Just make sure your fabric, you have water next to you. You're not supposed to put the flame on the fabric. It's more like the heat from the flame that's really doing it. If you do put the flame on it, you got to pass it fast. But always have something to protect yourself. So, but I do have some detailed tutorials on that. And if there's ever a tutorial you can't find, I'll try and if you comment on any of my I try to answer you. I try to give you the links. And again, when you let's see, what else do I need to do? All right. So the next thing is I also just go in here, and this is going to be another piece of lace, the same lace I would use in here, and that's what I used here. I'm not going to show you how to do that because I think you could figure that out. What was the next thing? Oh, the other thing I do, so you can take this lace right here, and you can either just cut it, make a bow, or you could cut it in the V shape so that it looks nice, and make it shorter, make it longer. But if you can see, it actually just looks fine flowing down, but I would probably cut it if I was going to leave it flowing down. The other thing I did is I took it and I kind of, where's the one that's inside? See this one that's inside? I took it and I pushed it in the satin folds, so it'll go up here to the center. And if you want it up there, you could just put a tiny bit of glue right there, and then it'll stay in the folds. And then you trim it. And I'm using the one that I had inside first. because that one, and it looks cute. See if you could see here. See, it's sticking out right there on the one I made. You see it? And then I cut it right there. See that? Alrighty. Anything else? I think that most everything else you guys can do on your own. The size of ornaments you use doesn't matter, except that, like for this one, to say you use a smaller ornament, you might need less lace. Oh, that's one thing I did want to do, is I wanted to wrap one of these balls so you can actually see the size of this one. I wanted to, measure it for you. Let me grab, that's one last thing I think I want you guys to have, because some of you guys will say, oh, what size ornament? And it really doesn't matter. What matters is just you're decorating it. But this one is one of the more larger sizes. It's not really small, but it's not extremely large. So around, oh, that's 9 inches. 9 inches. I don't know if when I measure around it, it's about 9. Okay, so it goes up to there when I measure around it. That'll help you guys. All right, I think that is enough. You guys can go from there, and maybe you could have some mesh lace in your stash that you can use to add to it, as much or as little as you want, but you can see how pretty it looks like that. And then on this side, you could see how pretty it looks with just this, and then adding that. And the reason I started adding so much on this one is because I felt like the fabric seemed like it was so matte, but with the shiny fabric, I like it more with less. So I'll probably make more like this, and I will probably not put as many of my little Rococos, because sometimes more is more beautiful and other times more is too much. But we all like different things. I did forget to mention up here, I ended up putting like the extra lace that I cut off of my extra. I stuck it here in the middle of the 2 flowers I put here. And then I put a piece of the Rococo on top of that lace. And that's what you see here. And then here, these, oh, that's what I wanted to show. I knew there was something else I needed to show you. I wanted to show you how, if you don't have the beads, there's a very inexpensive way that you can do it. And I will be getting, I don't have that much pink left, but I will be getting some more pink. And you can take this type of trim, it's on a fishing line, and I have it in my shop like 2 yards for who knows how much, I don't know, a couple of dollars, I don't know. I know that everything, I've tried to make things close to $3. And you can just take this, you see if you fold it like this, you take it, and it'll become the little loop like that. See, it's a little bigger, but oops, you can stick it in here. It'll add beads. You can stick it here, and like put the flower over it. Can you see that? How pretty that would look to put it there. It's more about how you're going to attach it. So for me, if I was going to do this, I would probably put 2 like this, 1 on each side, and I'd probably knot them in with the lace. That's probably what I would do, because I want to make sure my things are firm and they're not going to fall off, and they're going to last for years for whoever purchases my pieces that I design. Yes, yes. Less or more, it's up to each person, I think. Really is. Every person, it just depends on them, what you want. There we go. All right, so there's the pearls. That would look pretty on this. It keeps it more delicate, keeps it pink. You could use white. You can use different colors. I think I have a little bit of white left, maybe few yards, and then I have off-white, cream, or ivory and pink, and I'm going to get some gold and red in soon. Hopefully it'll come in and I'll be able to put it in so people who want to make it. But this is gorgeous. This is a simple way, and this stuff is inexpensive compared to some of like all the flat backs that you use, which I do have some flat backs in my shop also. But the amount you'll get 2 yards of this compared to that, and then you just learn how to let it be happy and be like flow around the way you want it to. Okay. I think, does anybody have a question? If you do, just comment. And then what I want you to do is, if there's a pertinent question, I'm not sure if I haven't been on YouTube long enough to know if all the changes, if I can go back and see the comments of when I'm doing lives. I'm not sure. So right now, this is gearing up to close to an hour that I've been talking. So I will be back on after it reloads, and I'm going to be looking at the comments then when it reloads, around 3:30 or so, and then that way, if anybody has any questions, then I'll be paying attention to the questions that you might have. Um, oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Oh, I see. They disappear on me. That's why I can't craft and do it. I'm one person, and I'm like not completely great at. You're welcome. I hope you're inspired. Use what you have. You don't have to go and buy my stuff. Use what you have. You know, I sent you to Walmart to look for this satin fabric, which I use a lot because it's so versatile. I love to melt my flowers, and that's what you'll end up here with. And that's why added this lace, because the lace underneath makes this a nice, full, beautiful flower, as you can see there. You cut this as short as you want. Like I said, you can remove those and place them around. All up to you. Great ideas for you to try and figure things out. And maybe you were inspired to be able to use this lace in a different way. I'm going to keep on keep it in stock. But I order like 30 yards at a time, and then it goes, and I'm like, should I order two? I don't know. It's just one of the most popular ones, in addition to the other one I just showed you. Um, Oh, thank you. I shipped all my orders out. Who it was really funny. I was on here yesterday, right? Yesterday, a couple of days ago. How about this week? And then all of a sudden that next day I got like tons of orders. I don't think it was all you guys, but some of my old customers, they came and they ordered, or they may have heard that I ran out of that Rococo trim really fast, but right now I have some restocked and some new ones in. That's why I was looking for new ones, because it sells out, and you could see why. You just add it on something and it just brings out the beauty and adds that little bit of green that just, I don't know, I like that combination of the pink with the little bits of green. So I am done. I will talk to you guys next time, and the next time I come I will show you how I made this one, which is very similar. So I may not show you all of the steps, but because it's wrapped the same way, I might come with a wrapped ornament, so I'm not taking so long um, on the tutorial, because I do want to show you some laces. Like this time I might show you a stack of these embroidery trims that I have, that I used for this one. So talk to you guys next time.